Okay, so now you've all installed Jing. I've gone around and everybody has it installed. Everybody has been able to practice hitting record, practice pausing if you need to pause and take a break. You've all had a chance to hit play, upload the link, so you're all familiar with all of the technical parts of using Jing. Now I'm going to show you how to put that together with what we just learned about doing good peer review on each other's writing. So what I have is a sample for you of me doing peer review on an actual student's paper. And when I do it, you can see how I use the screen capture to find a way of incorporating the skills of peer review that we just talked about in the PowerPoint. So does anybody remember what were those 3 things that we talked about in the PowerPoint? Right, specifics. So you want to look at a specific area. One thing nice about doing your peer review on the screen capture is you can really point to where your concerns are or where something is going well. Instead of saying in paragraph 3, sentence 2, or something like that, you can show them on your paper. Another nice thing about Jing is instead of having like one mistake on one paper and another mistake on the next page, you can show how in the entire paper there's a pattern of mistakes. So just like we said, looking for patterns rather than getting stuck on one comma, another comma. Looking for patterns of mistakes, right? It also helps you to focus on big picture problems. So things that are higher order concerns that affect the meaning of the entire paper. So that's going to be some of the places where you can find specifics. So specific, big picture issues. Does that make sense? Specifics doesn't have to mean commas. Specifics can be big picture issues. Good. Okay, what was the other one? Right, solutions. So on the paper that you're doing your screen capture, you can point to some solutions. So you could type something into their paper. So if you wanted to type, a word change, or if you wanted to delete a sentence and see what the paper would look like if that sentence was deleted, you can do that on your screencast. Or you can cut and paste so that the paragraph is in a different place, and you can show them what that would look like on your computer when you do this. So you can have that idea of solutions that you type in, but you can also point them to other solutions. So remember how we said one of the things you can do in peer review is point them to other resources. What's nice about the screen capture is you can actually open up another file and say, here is the file that will help you. Here is the website that's useful. Here is the assignment sheet on Blackboard, things like that. So that's going to be a really nice part of solution. What's the third one? Praise, right? Having praise and criticism. So you don't want to just have praise, but you also don't want to just have criticism. You want a nice balance, the sweet and the sour, right? Yeah, just like the Sour Patch Kids, right? Sweet and sour. So what's nice also about the screen capture is you can get the tone of voice. So if you're doing a peer review that's just handwritten, you could write something like, "Good job, Janice." And that could be read as sarcastic. "Good job, Janice," right? Do you remember a few weeks ago when we talked about tone of voice? Yeah. So that could be sarcastic, or it could be sincere. "Good job, Janice," right? So different tone of voice. And with the screen capture, you can give them your tone of voice. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to show you some of this video of an actual screen capture. So this is one that I did for an actual student paper. And I want to just highlight a few parts of it. We won't have time to watch all of it, but this will be on Blackboard. So here we go. So we'll just watch a bit.
Dr. Hedengren, I looked at your paper and I have some comments for you. The very first thing I want to point out for you is this is too long. See, it's 7 pages, and this should only be like 4 pages long, so it's already too long. The next thing is, as I skimmed through this, I noticed that your bibliography doesn't quite look right. It looks like maybe you just used a bibliography machine instead of going...
Sorry, I'm going to pause it there. So you can see that what I've done here is I've highlighted the area that I have a concern with. Can you guys see what's wrong with this section? Right, it's in all capitalization. Do you see how it's done that? And so I say, okay, this is probably because you've used a citation machine, you've just put it in Noodle Bib through the computer or something like that. And I'm going to tell them, that's not the best resource that they should use. So instead, in this video, because it's a video, I can show them how to fix it. So here we go. Here's a little bit further.
Capital letters again too. So you really want to double check everything in the alphabet. So if we go alphabet, it's a great website we talked about in class, and you can go here and it has MLA style and APA style. So if you're an MLA, you can go down. If you're looking at a website, you can go to electronic sources, and it will tell you how do you cite a website, how do you cite, one page, like an article on a website.
I'm going to pause it here too real quick. So do you see how I've opened up the website and I've shown the student Z, where he can find how to cite a page at a website. So you guys have all done research on different sources, and you can use this in your peer review. So if you want to tell them how to make an appointment at the Writing Center, or how they can use dictionary.com or one of the other sources we talked about, you can do that on your peer review. So you can just open up a window like I did in the sample one and go to the website that you think is going to be most useful. So I'm going to go ahead just a little bit further and just look at one section up here where I talk about the introduction in more depth.
Or if you're saying they're new and changed.
Okay. So here you can see I'm able to highlight things.
Instead of saying just the views are concerned on weather, you might tell us something like psychologists are concerned whether, and just all of this is a little bit vague. Let's take a look at your conclusion.
Okay. So I wish we had time to look at all of that right now, but it is all on Blackboard. So if you don't get to it, you can look at it tonight. I recommend it as a good example before you do your peer review. But it doesn't take long. I mean, you may notice on your Jing, you have a limit of 5 minutes. So when you do this, you're only going to have 5 minutes. So glance through the paper first, go through the rubric, look, does it fulfill the page length? Does it have the right number of sources? Is it finished? And then just like in this one, you can look at the introduction, at the conclusion. You don't need to read every page. Look at a couple of paragraphs in the middle, and you can just respond to it. So when you make your Jing presentation, remember those 3 principles that we talked about: specifics, solution, mix of praise and criticism. Good. Does anybody have any questions about this?